episode 64, part 2 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. As usual, we'd like to remind you to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm BMOTW.
And I'm Ngaro Kamuya.
So we start off with Bad Man of the Week from the final, which was KCB versus Cabras.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go through a whole lot of names. Because guys showed up. You know, before I get to my one,
even the vendors
showed up. Yeah, the real MVPs. Yeah. So I'd like first I'll start off with Nick Ongeri.
Yeah.
Good game. Speedy recovery.
Yeah.
That I mean.
I assume a quick recovery. That was that was a freak injury.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing how calm he was on the ground, just like guys. Yes.
Yeah.
So speedy recovery, Nick Ongeri.
Yeah.
Edwin Achayo.
Yeah.
He kept the ball moving all the time for Cabras. George Nambua, boiler room things.
Yeah.
Those things only forwards know.
Yeah.
Ken Musetti, getting his side, you know, running as well.
Yeah.
Philip Okorach, I mean, by his standards, fine, he didn't have a brilliant day, but by most, he was, you know, Peter Waitere, Jacob Oje having some solid runs. I mean, not to take anything away from Adrian, who was the other 14. I mean, the other winger rather, on the KCB side, but Jacob knows what he does on that wing. And
he's a good finisher.
Yeah, good finisher. Then we had Felix Ayange. I actually think he had a pretty decent game.
Debatable. But anyway.
When he was on my wing, I think he had a pretty decent game. Then there was a number 5 from Cabras, that is Andrew Chogo. Young boy, I think in a few years I'd like to see him on the Kenya Simbas side. But my bad man, because at the end of the day, you need to get points on the board. Darwin McKinsey.
I did feel as electrified. I've seen Darwin have better performances. What is good, what Darwin does very well is that he's very composed, and as you're saying, getting points on the board. And I think Jacob Oje's try is the one who committed the Cabras defenders. For me, very many people had a very good game yesterday, but for me, 2 people stood out. Number 1 was the introduction of Martin O'Wheeler.
Yes, definitely.
His ball carrying, and you know, I remember having a conversation with Edwin Achayo last year, and you're talking about the rugby brain that Martin O'Wheeler has developed over the years, and you could see it yesterday when he came in. But for me, my bad man of the week was Peter Waitere at number 8. Not the biggest person,
definitely
but amongst up there with the guys with the big hats. He played number 8 very well, which is an adopted role because most of the times we've seen him as number 7. His ball carrying was good, and I think one place where he really thrives is the breakdown, which he did control. And he got a try. So,
and that.
So for me, bad man of the week is Peter Waitere.
Well done to those guys.
Yep.
Then we move on to Kenyan rugby history, where we are talking about our sweet boys from Cabras.
How long have you wanted to say?
You're right. That one, I did have that thinking for a while. So only team that's actually contracted Fijians come and play for them, and caused a mass exodus of players to Western. And I at some point, I think first coach was Mike Bishop.
From Australia. Mike Bishop from Australia. It's good to note that Cabras is actually a tribe. It's a tribe from the Luya.
I should know this.
They reside in Cabras Division, which is in Kakamega, an area called Malava. So I guess that's where the name came from, because again, they're based in Western, and remember, they're a subsidiary of Cabras Sugar, the company. So formed about, there's no timeline, and I've tried making calls to find out exactly when they were formed, but my guess puts it around 2011, 2012. And they started off, of course, in the lower leagues and promotion. And I think that time they had, as you say, there was a mass exodus from Nairobi. I know Queens were hurting. I mean, we lost Nick Baraza, we lost Edwin Achayo. Later on, we lost Felix Ayange. We lost a couple of guys at Queens. So anyway, they went and they got promoted to Kenya Cup in 2014. And they have been in each and every final since they were promoted to the Kenya Cup. 2015 losing out to KCB, 2016 beating Impala, 2017 and 2018 losing to KCB. So as you say, they were initially coached by Mike Bishop, who's from Australia. Players are contracted. I think maybe might be the only club that's like run from a
professional
way. Currently coached by Charles Carter-Villas, assisted by Anthony Ogot, who is also one of the people who went Exodus.
Yes.
there was an Exodus from KCB
as well. Yes.
Yeah. Max Adaka, also another person who went to Cabras. So yeah, as you say, they're based in Kakamega, play their games at the Kakamega Showground, and they're an exciting side to watch. I think, of course, they are the second team outside Nakuru to have won the Kenya Cup. A team not based in Nairobi, that is. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's Cabras. They've been there for about, 5-6 years or thereabouts, and they play in Kakamega, and as I've told you, Cabras is actually a tribe of Luya. Yeah.
So now we move on to our dear Kenya Simbas. Yes, the ones we are supporting.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. So Kerry announced the appointment of a coach and assistant coach. That was Ian Snook and Murray Rolston as Simbas head coach assistant on a 2-year contract. Yeah. And their main goal is just to qualify for the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, Union, really, you appoint a guy today and expect him to qualify for the World Cup. Qualifiers are going to be later on in the year. But anyway, Ian Snook, Murray Ralston, these guys have impressive CVs. Actually, I've been doing a hell lot of reading over the last week since they were appointed, just to get to know exactly what we'll be dealing with. I've talked to a couple of people. I've talked to Dominic Habimana, who's the current assistant coach of the Simbas. Ian Snook's CV is built on conditioning, number one, and number two, defense. And defense wins you championships. Defense is what will get you, to the other side. So I think that would be good for our boys. I think if he comes in, I would advise him to just focus on defense. Don't even really try to change our attacking patterns, because it's going to be very hard just now. So, and conditioning, and strength and conditioning.
Of course.
We have a good friend of mine, Erin Boyd, and Next Gen Sports, are the ones who do analysis. I think he might want to engage them, because you have locals, you have guys who know the players, and you have professionals in that field. So one of the things that, as I was saying, 2 things: conditioning, number one, and number 2, defense. Murray Alston, he also has an impressive CV. He's been part of the coaching bench for Highlanders, the 2015 Super Rugby champions, the Highlanders in New Zealand. And actually, on reading and researching about who are these guys who are coming to take over the Simbas, I saw a comment by former All Blacks assistant coach, Bucks coach Wayne Smith. Wayne Smith talked about playing against Murray Ralston in the 80s. And he said that right then he knew the guy was a brilliant rugby mind.
Yeah.
So when you hear an All Blacks coach saying that the guy is a brilliant rugby mind, it can only mean good things for Kenya. 2-year contract, I think they should have been given 5 years, kind of the same time Jerome was given. But I'd like them to start, get the ball rolling immediately. They should be in Kenya ASAP. And I hope and I pray and I ask our union not to interfere with the work these guys are doing. They need to be provided with the funds. They need to be provided with the environment if we're to realize the talent that we have in 15s. So I think they're brilliant appointments. World Cup might be dreaming.
Tall order,
because the way I look at it, our best chance is a rep charge. Finish number 2 and then go for the rep charge. But look, you never know.
Yep, you never know.
You never know. These guys might have magical touch, so we never know. But all in all, based on the CVs that they have, I think they are brilliant appointments. And I'm just waiting. I'm really waiting to see our games.
Interestingly enough, before we move on to the Carrier elections, is the fact that a lot of the time when Carrier appoints coaches, there's always some backlash, whether it's fans, whether it's... I haven't actually heard that much this time.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, okay, let's do this.
I think it's more of guys are desperate. I mean, we've been crying.
We'll take what we can get.
Yes, you fired Jerome in January, we were going to a World Cup year. Then you don't have a backup plan, and then you say it's because of budget. Really?
Yeah.
But anyway, no one, as you're right, no one is really making noise about this. So I just hearing guys talking about Mr. Snook, or Snooker, or whatever guys are calling him. We can't wait for him to come, and then
I can't wait to see the performances.
Yeah, I can't wait to get there, see the performances. And if he ever watches this, You just tell him that guys are looking forward to what you're going to do with the Kenya Simbas.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we move on to the KRU elections, which are at this year's AGM, and that was on the 21st of March. So we got back Thomas Opio. Joshua Aroni also stayed. Odor Gangla stayed. New appointment, Hilary Itella, and Oscar Mango. Well, yeah. For the next 4 years.
Yeah, for the next 4 years. Guys expected Thomas Opio Tano to come back. Guys expected Aroni to come back. Guys expected Gangla to come back. But the one thing that really bothers me is Oscar Mango.
I thought that would be it.
Yeah. It's just last year. I was telling people these elections were 21st of March. Last year's elections was 22nd of March when we decided to when the delegates decided to get rid of Oscar Mango. You remember how he had butchered and interfered with the squad selection last year. So a year later, you bring him back. That's the one that has people talking. It has people in the rugby community talking and not too happy. I'd rather they put back John Kilonzo, KCB, as a director. So look, it's happened. There's nothing much you can do, and it's for 4 years. Just a couple of things I'd like to mention and we had at the AGM. I was there with our producer, and there were glaring issues with regard to finance and financials, which are always a problem. You can see any smart person or any reasonable person can see that money has been misappropriated. So we only hope that these guys will stop politicking. One of the people who's been re-elected, I won't say who it was, I talked to somebody I know and said that now we want to stop politicking. I hope that they actually intend to keep that. And look, just stop this misappropriation of funds. We are tired of this story. Come on, guys, let's start running sports like a business. I'll be honest, the people who've come in, maybe Hilary Itella, I don't know, but the people who've come in, I don't think can deliver.
I have high hopes for Hilary Itella, but let's wait and see.
Let's wait and see. I don't think, apart from Hilary Itella, I don't think the other people can deliver on running sports as a business. But look, they've been elected, so there's nothing much you can do about it. You have them for another 4 years. Let's wait and see, and most of these guys are going to be done.
Yeah. Well, very quickly before we finish, we had international rugby, Super Rugby. Hurricanes 29, Highlanders 12.
I expected it to be a closer game. I woke up on Saturday to watch a close game. I should have just waited for the Kenya Cup final. But 29-12 to Hurricanes. Hurricanes are looking very strong this season. They have a very exciting and electric backline. Very compact and mobile set of forwards. So deserved winners. They won 29-12 against the Highlanders. Just a quick read of the other results. We had the Crusaders returning to winning ways, 33-14 versus the Bulls. We had the Rebels, beat the Sharks 46-14. We had the Sunwolves lose to the Chiefs 10-61. We had the Stormers beat the Reds 25-19, and we had the shocker of the weekend, the Jaguares beating the Lions 49-35. So how does the conference look? How do the conferences look, rather? In Australia, it's the Rebels who are leading. In New Zealand, it's the Crusaders who are leading. And in South Africa, it's the Lions who are leading. Combined log, we have the Rebels, Lions, Crusaders, Hurricanes, Chiefs, and Highlanders wrapping up the playoff position.
What he said? Drop your messages for the Kenya Simbas on our pages. Remember, you can like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm BMOTW.
And I'm Ngaroka Muya.
See you in part 3.